Oh,
It'll be an epic comeback. I hope you do well, man. Good luck to everybody.
man, all you guys deserve it. Dave, way to just absolutely destroy these challenges, man. On the ball.
Hey, well, we're recording
Mike,
already.
I got a survivor injury when I was running around trying to gather my stuff. Hey, I hurt my toe.
You did? Oh, you're not the first person to claim an injury. I think Peter was mentioning that earlier in the game as well, that he hurt his back. My dog better stop barking right now.
Yeah, it's crazy how much I destroyed my hallway trying to find a CD or DVD. That was by far the hardest thing.
Okay, so yeah, our neighbors are in the backyard right now while Sandra is walking around, and then my dog's going to keep barking, which is going to be a really big pain in the butt. So I'll be right back.
No worries.
Just going to send him back there. I made it way worse.
Good thing I'm not on speaker because my dog would start losing her mind.
Holy cow. Okay, so you guys are the top 5 from Exile Island, who competed just in 2 questions. And it's been hours. Like she's gonna watch this later, and she's been in the backyard for hours, and it's like our neighbors have been there just as long for the whole time. Okay,
Mike, this happens all the day at work. When you put on your lap.
Yeah.
Sorry?
When you put on your lap.
It's because they're barking out the window.
Yeah.
How do you get through the workday?
Holy. Okay.
Do we have to prep anything, Mike? Do you want to explain anything or instructions-wise?
Yeah. Okay. How about this? So you guys give me a break while I sort out the dog situation. But what you guys are going to be doing, and you may have guessed it already, is you guys are going to make your case to each other why you should get the spot back in the game, and the 5 of you are going to vote.
Oh, wow.
So obviously only one of you are getting it anyway. So literally, my neighbor's bringing a chainsaw into my backyard right now.
All right.
So luckily the windows are closed, but I'm going to do it. So anyway, so because only one of you get it anyway, and this game has multiple phases and multiple things it's asking for from you, from your strength, your mental acuity, your relationship ability. We figured the best way to determine who gets back in and who's going to represent Exile Island is to have you guys decide. So I'm going to mute here. You guys take a moment to think about what you guys want to talk about, and then we're gonna go. Okay?
Right. So,
1 second.
Shareed, I just need to know what your email address is so I can just transfer you some money right now. I got everyone else's. Right?
I was wondering what's the threshold for bribes right now? You know? are we doing like a Secret Santa where it's like, you know, $20 minute maximum or something like that? You know,
like the what's the Office episode where you could like just steal the present as it goes round?
Yeah,
the Yankee game, whatever. Yeah,
Yankee swap.
I don't know. Like, listen, I don't know about you guys. I think all 5 of us represent the game very well. All 5 are competitive and good people to get along with. I don't have a personal preference in any ways. Like, do you guys think we should just go make a case, or is there some criteria you want to use? Like, what do you think's a fair
Hey,
approach?
Silas, it's not your turn.
It's not my turn? Oh.
You're not in charge.
You're preparing.
I'm just joking. I never said I was back. Yeah, so you guys decide what you want to talk about individually, right? You know, there's a few things that you can talk about. You can talk about maybe why you got a raw deal and why you deserve that chance back in the game. You can talk about what your plans are once you get back in the game, potentially to stir up some shit or, you know, target some specific people. You could just talk about why you deserve it the most. So I think each of you will maybe take your own approach, but think about just the 5 people here and what they want as well. And, you know, try to appeal to you guys. I know it's hard for Silas and Dave, especially because you guys are voted out so early. But, and maybe Silas, you specifically because you were Uncle Bara as well. You know, you have a case and I'm pretty sure you have a bone to pick with some players in the game as well. So I think there's a worthy case for each of you. So does that make sense? Do you guys have any questions?
So can we vote for ourselves?
No.
So yeah, so we're just voting for the one person we want in, right?
Yeah, whoever has the most votes, we'll
Right.
get back in. If it's a tie, we'll do the revote the same way, and we'll figure out how to make that happen. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to go in reverse order from who answered the second round. So Shareed, you're first.
Okay.
Actually, no, my bad. Sorry, Silas is first.
Oh, so I'm not even sure where to start yet. So there's a couple of reasons, right? I think, been in this game a few times, and because of that, definitely have some arrows on my back. But also, I think this game specifically, one of the things I wanted to do was protect some of the players that probably don't get a voice or sometimes get a raw deal, right? And in my tribe, if you guys don't know, what happened was the first week we lost, Jonathan House was putting his kid down, and basically I voiced that I did not think that was a fair reason to vote someone out, and I think the tribe could have found something a little bit more fair. In doing that, I think that also put a target on my back as someone who would speak up and speak for the situation, and that combined with kind of previous seasons gave me perceived threat, and I think that's ultimately why I was voted. People were concerned with maybe what I would do to the game, the threat I might have for the future of their game, and I think that's a very, especially at merge, becomes a powerful position to go and kind of mess things up or disrupt some of the power struggles and maybe cause new alliances or break old ones. And I think that would be an exciting part to showing up back into the game. That's a little bit of my thoughts. Other than, I try and play pretty straight and upfront. And I'll talk about who I want to partner with and why, and what I like about people. So that's just a little bit of how I've approached the game.
Thanks, Silas. This is Silas's time. So does anyone else have a question for Silas before we move on to Shareed? You guys can ask anything you want, or just we can move on.
How have you been spending your time on Exile Island as like the first person voted off? It's been pretty epic to get back.
Well, do I count as the first person voted off?
I guess last night.
Well, not officially, unofficially.
Well, I mean, listen, I think everyone has the same range of emotions, right? Like you first spend your time just like hating everyone in the world, and then you kind of get over it and kind of moan to a few people, and then after a few weeks you realize like it's fun, and you just try to make the game better and trying to be a little bit more involved over time, with some ups and downs there with a few work things, but largely been talking to people, been following the game, and then outside of that, been trying to actually do some exercise and workout because I've been sitting for a very long time.
Do you have any plans when if you get back in the game? For you don't have to talk about it now if you don't want to, but you may want to.
I think as far as I said is what I said up front. I think there's some power dynamics and there's some alliances, and I think I'm one of the people who can be disruptive and can maybe go and fight for some people who feel like they're on the ropes and they're getting just eliminated one by one, week by week. So that might be a little bit of my plan.
Awesome. Thanks, Silas. Shareed, what about you? Why do you deserve a spot back in the game?
Well, my Survivor journey was a bit different than most. I've been to tribal a whole heap of times. I don't know if I've had a week off, to be honest. Maybe only when Silas went home. But besides that, I've every week it was a fight. It's been a lot of strategy gameplay wise. It wasn't, especially on our original tribe, it wasn't much strategizing on how we're going to win these competitions. It was along the lines of alliances. And that's what ruled the game at that point. So I go back in, I think I played honest game. The only lie that I really said was that I didn't know Dave, which everyone knows he's my brother-in-law. But besides that, I was straight up and honest with everyone. Even when it came down to the vote that I was evicted out on, I reached out to Ruth and Sasha. I told them that I'm going to be voting for them before the vote even happened, because I wasn't going to do them dirty like that, right? I tried to play a straight up honest game. I don't think I made many enemies. It was more along the lines of I got voted out because of the numbers once I went to Ulu. It had me, Sasha, Ruth, and April. Obviously, April teamed up with Brian and the other two. They had the numbers. It made sense, right? I'm not upset over it. It made sense for them. But if I have the opportunity to go in, I don't think I'll really have a target on my back. And it's again, I come in with no other relationship. Dave won't be coming in with me, or if Dave makes it in, he won't be coming in with me either. So we're just going to be going in as a single player, and hopefully we'll be able to try to make it further on.
Thanks, Sharif. Looking at who's left in the game, is there anybody who you would want to work with specifically when you join back, or if you join back in the game?
The only people that I really never got to play with were guys from the Kabara tribe. I worked with, as you know, everyone from Navala, the original Navala. I worked with John as he was there before. I worked with some of the guys from Ulu, but never had that Kabara experience. So,
perfect. Any questions for Sharid from any of you guys?
What was your favorite part of the game so far?
Sorry.
Your favorite part of the game?
Turned into a robot. Sharid, what about now? Can we hear Sharid?
Oh, I think I'm cutting out.
Yeah,
we can hear you now.
Got you back.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah,
what
were
was
you
your
asking
favorite part of the game?
Favorite play of the game or part of the game?
Just part of the game, yeah.
Oh, okay. I really, honestly, right from the get-go, I tried reaching out to a lot of people. Game aside, everyone seems like a super, super cool guys, all right, and girls. That one day if we can get to that barbecue, I'm sure everyone will get along great, right? So with me, I just like to get.
Oh man!
Awesome. Thanks, Sharid. Dave S., what about you?
All right. I guess I came into this game an underdog because I didn't know anybody except for Sharid. I didn't even know the host, right? So it was a slow start for me getting to know people, but I think I hit my stride really good. And even in the OG Navala, I think I built some bonds up there with people that I would have continued on in the game with. I played an honest game. Even when I voted for Elliot, I gave him enough time to make a plan to get me out if he wanted to, right? But that was probably a big mistake for me. But at least I was honest to him. It's a catch-22 in this game, right? You got people coming back to you and saying, "Why didn't you just tell me the truth and let me know that you were voting me out?" Right? And then you got other people saying, "Well, you could have just said nothing." Right? And I decided to play the honest game. I got multiple, I guess, raw deals in my game of play, where people were voted out, but also in the challenges where, so say for the tribe swap, right? I should have won that, but then Graham's phone got bombed out that day, so. I got a raw deal there. My WordPress double imaged a triangle, so I entered 42 instead of 21, and that was
you were really freaking out about that one.
I'm pretty good at challenges. I think I could hold my own against people, and even when I was on Navala, and I knew that that everything was stacked against me. I knew I had to try and make a play that wouldn't last me just the 1 week. I knew that if I had forged at least one relationship, that I could have done something further. And I did it with Amanda, and I had the cards to probably play that, but I wanted to make sure that Amanda was there with me. And if Amanda wasn't there with me, then I was willing to go home at that point. So I wanted to stir things up and change up the scene in Navala, right? And not make it a boring vote, right? Like with Andre, it was a boring 6-1 vote, right? And with Amanda, it ended up being a boring 4-1 vote, right? At least like me and Elliot can say that like when we got voted out, it was not a boring vote, right? And yeah, no, I think that if I get back in the game, if I don't win, at least I'll have another great exit video to show you guys when I do get voted off again. And at that point, I think I'll be satisfied, like playing an honest game, playing a straightforward game. I think it works for some people. And I think that I think I could do that going forward. And hopefully you guys all look at me as someone that you could see being friends with outside the game, and this game is just a game, right? So hopefully like you choose me to go back in, right? Like it would be the biggest surprise in Survivor history, I think. So I think we should go with that, I haven't played before, so everyone's expecting Elliot or Silas to come back, but they're the vets, right? I'm the rook, so.
As the only player here who was on both Navala and Kobara, do you have any targets still in the game that you would want to potentially go after if you join back in?
You know what? I was talking to actually Chris Pittman today, right? And we were like, we were shooting the shit like normal, right? And it was just like he understands like when I was calling it out, it's all for fun, right? And it's like so I could see myself being another swing vote going forward, and I could be an ally to somebody, right? I think I do have my eyes on playing with certain people who have impressed me in this game, whether it impressed some people or whether it didn't impress other people for the way they played. I think there are people still in the game that are quality people to work with, right? So
thank you. Elliot, you've had a little bit of time to think about this. Why should these guys put you in the game, back in the game?
The reason I deserve a rose, a Survival Hamilton rose, because I'm going to treat the game with lots of respect. And no, I really have a lot of fun in the game, and just kind of being a fly on the wall and like adding color commentary on the side, and just kind of making up my own narratives and stories. So whether it's Exile Island or in the tribe, I think I'll have a blast either way. I think narratively, the best story arc is Silas kind of makes it back in. He kind of battled all the way from where he is to gets back onto the island. So I would be very happy if that's what happens here today. But ultimately, I'm trying to pitch myself to you guys, and I think I can bring a lot to the game in terms of just I like to keep it entertaining and fun and light. I'm not like I have friends, but I'm not essentially stuck in my ways, like with the Kyle vote or me getting voted out. I was ready to kind of switch sides and just do whatever it takes to kind of make something exciting happen. And so, yeah, and along with Dave said, just looking to have fun and make friends, and not treat it too seriously. So, Dave, I know I voted for you and tried to get something going there. This is the opportunity to get back at me and vote me. So, think about it. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to, and it's just fun. So Mike's done a good job here, and I'm just excited to be a part of it. So happy to be.
You mentioned kind of being a fly on the wall and having fun and that, but do you have any real game reasons, like any real game goals if you come in to win and to maybe dethrone Kyle from the controversial Survivor Hamilton 2?
Yeah, I mean, I would love, like that first time around where I finished second was basically because Kyle kind of did everything and I just sat back and whatever he told me I did. So I tried to do that a little bit differently this time around, and that's essentially what I do coming back in. Is I start reaching out to a whole bunch of people, trying to throw some wrenches into people's games and see if we can't make something happen and prevent 6 Survival Hamilton stones were being collected by Kyle. And avoid the snap.
Yeah, that was funny. We're definitely gonna have to share that with everybody when this is over. Does anybody else have a question for Silas before we move on to Dave Morris?
For Elliot.
For me, Elliot.
No. Okay. Right on. Well, Dave Morris, you were voted out back in week 3, a week right after Silas. What have you been thinking about, and why should they vote you back in the game?
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, this is kind of unexpected. I did not, I really did not in my wildest imagination, expect to have this opportunity. I kind of made my peace with, a week and a half into Survivor Hamilton that I was going home and, put the pieces back together. So I don't think I was, and I'm sure, well, maybe a little bit different to Silas, like there were not a lot of, expectations for me, this being my first time. I don't think I really made any enemies. At the same time, I didn't really fight for my position in the game. So I'm a little bit disappointed with that. When at the beginning of the week, I knew, some folks were flinging some dirt around about me, and that dirt being that I had some friends playing on the other team. And, I kind of just sat back and let the game come to me versus pushing back, because I knew a lot of folks had, friendships within the tribe that they weren't necessarily vocal about. So I just didn't want to crush anybody else's game. I did not necessarily see it coming. But that being said, surprisingly enough, and just the way things worked out, I think I have quite a few friendships left in the game. The majority of folks that voted against me, ended up on Exile Island. And a few of those players that voted for me to stay in the game are still in the game. So I feel like I have an opportunity where I have good relationships left in the game. And that, I think, gives an opportunity, right? An opportunity to not only get back in the game, but, progress into it. I don't know how far necessarily that will take me, but, I did not lie to anyone. I came in, I was, I think, a little bit too open about, those relationships in the game. And I think that kind of swung the vote against me, but it was so long ago. And I've had just a blast, just being, like Elliot said, a fly on the wall, chirping people, watching, the anxiety levels rise. So yeah, I think I have a new mindset about what it actually takes to progress into this game. And yeah, I hope, I don't know how the format works, Mike, if we just have a round table talking back and forth to each other, or if, maybe we will have that opportunity. But yeah, I hope that makes sense to some people. I think, the fact that I have good relationships left in the game gives me an opportunity.
I think what the people are going to want to know is if, yes, you have those good relationships, but are you going to join them, or are you going to take them down?
Oh, that's a good question.
Well, that was what came up right away when you joined the game.
That's what came up right away. So, I mean, I have, like I said, I have friends. Is this getting posted, Mike? Is this getting posted out?
Oh yeah, it's recorded. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
throw some shade their way.
Let me put all the cards on the table then. So, yeah, I know. So Peter's left in the game. He's a longtime friend, and he lives around the corner. John House, he mentioned in Exile Island, is heading over to his place right now, and I have a couple ex-roommates still in the game, and we've been friends since we were teenagers, and we are super competitive. And when someone wins and somebody loses, we don't hear the end of it. And so part of the fun and excitement of this was we would all get that opportunity again. And so for that group of people, the only folks voted out of the game so far was Elliot and myself. So you all know Elliot now. And so, yeah, I said from the very first video that, yeah, I would love to see them fail miserably at this. Unfortunately, the joke was on me. And I've been living under that shame and been razzed. And every time I walk out in the community, I've been harassed. I get nasty messages making fun of me. I have friends I have not talked to in years say, hey, I heard you lost miserably at Survivor. And I've been eating that crow. And so now that there's an opportunity, yeah, I would love to flip the tables on those folks. So yeah, I would take that opportunity. I think you guys would be excited to see that.
Perfect. Well, thanks, Dave. And thank you all for sharing. Really appreciate it. What we're going to do right now is we're going to go right to the vote. So each of you just send me a WhatsApp message with your vote. Remember, you cannot vote for yourself. You can vote only for one of the other 4 players here. So send me the votes. I'll write them all out. I'll read them, and then we'll get on with the rest of the day.
Mike, do we have a minute or two to message or think
Each other?
or breathe or any of those things?
No. I have my phone in my hand.
Yeah, I
right now.
don't have Silas's number to plead my case to him, you know? Like, I think I related to him on such a good level, too, right? So
I just gave you an opportunity to plead your case.
I have a question for David M, though, right? Like, has he been trying to on Exile Island, since he's been voted out, to try and actively get out your family members since he's been voted off?
Maybe.
You know what?
I don't know.
Oh, can I answer that, Mike, or no?
I will say I already have one vote, and for the respect of that person, I should just let you get the other votes from the rest of you.
Fair enough.
Well, Mike, this is what's going to happen, right? There's 2 people are going to vote for each other, and 2 people are going to vote for each other. So I'm kind of the fifth wheel in this. I'm kind of the fifth wheel in this. So
Elliot said he wanted you to get back in.
Well, we'll see. Are we dropping off now, or are we staying on the line?
No, stay on. You're right. That may be a shortcoming of this format, but it is what it is.
All right. Put my phone here.
So I'm still waiting for 3 of you. All right. We have our answer. Thank you guys all for participating. This was awesome. I'm just going to read the votes right away, and then one of you will get to join the merged tribe shortly. So, first vote, Dave Morris. Second vote, Elliot. Third vote, Shareed. Fourth vote, Dave S., as Silas predicted. And so Silas's vote for who should get back into the game is Elliot.
Nice.
Nice. Congrats, Elliot.
Congrats, Elliot. Thank you all for participating. Elliot, you better stir up some garbage when you get back in the game. We want to see that.
And Elliot, don't forget to write me into that write-up of yours.
Is that your vote? That brought me in?
No. Okay, so thank you all for joining. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. And for the folks not Elliot, enjoy just finally being completely done with the game for this season.
Thanks for the opportunity, Mike. You made it fun again. I appreciate it. It was a nice little
Sunday afternoon event, you know?
I appreciate that. Elliot, look forward to some more news from me, okay?
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody.
Good luck,
Take care,
Elliot.
everybody.
All right, good luck.
Everyone.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.